Is it working? Yeah. Okay, so on your backs or any other position that you prefer, I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi also. Okay, so however you want to have your first couple minutes, get comfortable, eyes are closed, starting to be more aware of the breathing. Take a breath or two, just, as you settle in. And then slow breath in through the nose, also exhaling through the nose. And we're just going to continue that as we start to relax a little bit. So, okay. Can I see? There we go. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see my mat. I've got to adjust it. There we go. Hopefully that's good. All right. So again, nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. We want to start incorporating the rest of the body into that breathing, right? So we want to always try to, it should feel natural, not forced, but be more aware of the breath coming in, expanding out, all the way to the belly. And then on the exhale, we're just letting the body relax. I think I'm still not quite at the, I need to give you just a tiny bit more view here of the floor. Here we go. Okay. All right. Oh, I didn't mute everybody. See, I always forget to do something here. Okay. Some of you guys are good about muting yourselves, but okay. Now, every exhalation is allowing you to relax a little bit more. Every inhalation is very naturally expanding that upper body, expanding. Feel that in the belly. And again, that exhale, letting it all relax. We'll just do that maybe another 30 seconds to a minute. If you started out and you weren't on your back, maybe you were sitting or maybe you were lying on your side, go ahead and come to the back now because we are going to start some movement. Just a moment. Oh, I must have started a little early. Apologize for that. Right now it's 10, so we've got a whole hour. All right, stay focused on the breath, and we're just going to bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat, and lift those hips up and move them away from the shoulders, spread the shoulders apart. If you're still kind of layered up, that's fine. If you're not feeling very warm yet, I'm not feeling very warm yet. All right, so the toes point straight ahead. The heels line up with the center. Feel those little round bones up there. That's what we're trying to align with. And then the knees need to stay there as well. So we don't want our knees to drop in or drop out at this point. Shoulders are nice and wide. And then we're just going to bring those arms long and then relax them. So we don't want to push them into the mat. But they should just be extended. Staying focused on that breath. So we're going to do a little bit of abdominal work at the beginning, and this is important because we want to have strong abdominals, right? We want to have our core to be a reliable source of support for us. We want to try to minimize discomfort in our lower backs. But then today, some of these things that we're going to work on with our balancing, the stronger we are through the middle, the better chance we have of balancing, whether it's in a horizontal to the floor position, maybe we're just standing up or doing tree pose, something like that. But if you're constantly aware of the center of the body and pulling those abdominals tight, that's going to give you a better foundation. As soon as you start taking the arms out or lifting the leg up or whatever, you're going to already be relying on the center of the body to help keep you there. So we want it to feel almost like an automatic thing, right? Now we're not going to contract the abdominals so tight that it's hard to get that breath in, right? It's just a light little pull. It's the last layer, the deepest layer, and it's like a belt, or it's called the transverse abdominals, and it goes all the way around, right? So it's almost like you feel like you're pulling it in. And then as you inhale and expand, everything goes out, right? Not just the belly, all those layers. So when we pull in, we're just contracting as tight as we can for a second. fully extending on that inhale. Now, I lost my train of thought on that one, but we'll come back to it. But what I want you to be really aware of is how important that is and how much it can really help you when you're relying on something. Oh, I know, it was about the twisting, right? So we do all kinds of twists all the time, and a lot of times our focus is doing them because of trying to stretch the hips or the back or whatever. But again, the thing that's going to help us get deeper into our twist is thinking of now not the circular ones, right? But the longer ones, the longer fibers. And we want to think of if we had a towel or some fabric and we twist it and it gets so tight in the middle, we want to feel those abdominals as tight as possible. So when you go into those twists, pull in as tight as you can and make those fibers get as small and tight as you can. Hopefully you can visualize that. Okay, enough of that. So here we are. One more full breath in and out. And then adding some movement. So arms over the head, inhale. And exhale, we're just going to bring them back to the mat. We'll do this a few times, just starting to, again, regulate the breathing and having the movement start to feel a little more natural. Every inhale, we're trying to reach a little bit longer through the arms, all the way to the fingertips. Exhale, come back down. We're going to do that a few more times. All right. Now we're going to continue that overhead reach as we do quite often on the inhale. Now the exhale, a little pull of the right knee to the chest. And then as soon as you inhale again, that foot's going to go down at the same time that the arms go overhead. And exhale, bring the left knee in. So try to not lift the upper body or the head up like this, right? We want to just keep everything relaxed and just only the knee comes up, the foot comes up, the knee comes in, back down, inhale. Exhale, other side. Do a couple more, right and left. And remember, as we start to progress and do more movement, more poses, linking them together, all of that we always start at kind of a basic level. And that's always fine to stay there. If you're having one of those days where just kind of feeling like, yeah, I'm not taking it easy, but I'm aware of how my body's feeling and I want to just see where I can get with these poses that I'm really familiar with, right? Continue those alternating knees. That's fine. I'm the same way. I have days where maybe I feel stronger, more balanced, more rested. And that might be a day that I might choose to work on something that is a little more challenging. So I'm going to give you some of those options today, but there will always be the basic option. I hate to call it basic because that almost gets a bad, people almost think of it as a bad thing. It's not. So just as we start moving more, this is our last one, right and left. As we start moving more, just see how you're feeling today. And then when we get to that point, you can try it or not. And you can always go back to that regular level. Okay, let's bring both knees in for a moment. Now feel how when you pull the knees in, that lower back, it cannot arch at this point, right? It's lengthening, it's widening, especially if you take the knees a little apart. I tend to feel it more on the outside. I'm just going to roll a little bit. Side to side, circle it, whatever you like. All right. I'm going to bring the feet back down to the mat. Check to make sure everything's in place, but walk those feet further out. All right. Now, take one hand on the belly. The other arm can be wherever. I want you to take a breath in. Really feel that hand moving up as the belly expands. Now, on the exhale, I want you to contract those abdominals as tight as you can. You can even let the lower back press down a little bit into the mat. Again, inhale, feel that expansion. Exhale, pull the belly, think of the belly button as the center, pull it in as tight as you can. Pause in that contraction for just a second. Inhale, expand outward. You can take the hand off if you like, but I want you to still feel that belly going all the way out. And I want you to still feel that contraction on the exhale as tight as possible. And inhale, let the back do that natural curve. On the exhale, as you press the lower back down, you see how you get a little pelvic tilt here? And again, inhale, return to that neutral pelvis, which is the little curve in the lower back. And then exhale, pulling the abs in, pressing the lower back down. Now, come back to that neutral pelvis, so a little bit of a curve here. Hands are going to either go behind the head, across to opposite shoulders, right? Now, think about how your neck normally feels. If you've got some discomfort there, you're going to probably want to have at least one hand supporting the head. Our heads are about 20 pounds-ish. But if taking both arms is hard on the shoulder back here, right? Maybe you just take the arm that the shoulder doesn't bother you as much, support the head, other arm's going to rest alongside you. Any variation that you like, but what I want you to think of is if you have a small apple, you're going to tuck it under the chin. So you can't get your chin all the way onto the chest. You've got that small apple or like a little tennis ball here. So it's going to keep our chin pointing up, our neck long, our eyes up. Now take a deep breath in. Feel that belly expansion. On the exhale, as you pull the belly in, just bring your head an inch or two off the mat. Inhale as you return back to the mat, belly out. Exhale, contract. So just kind of really giving those abdominals a little wake-up call today. Start working them. We want it to be an automatic thing, but we're just working them a little bit harder. We're not going to pump out 20 crunches. We're going to do very slow, very controlled lifting on the inhale, exhale, and lowering on the inhale. So a couple more again. Switch arms if you need to. I just don't want you to push your head forward. I don't want your chin to reach the chest. I don't want your eyes to be looking at your legs. Eyes are straight up. You don't even need to look at the camera or the screen for this one. Couple more. Now, we're going to do about, depending on how slow or fast you're moving, 6 to 8 more, so that make sure you do the same amount on each side. But what I want you to do now, as an option, is when you contract and you bring the head up, I want you to take one foot also off the mat, not way up here, just barely off the mat. Inhale, replace it. Head back down. Exhale. Contract, bring the foot up a little bit. Inhale, back down. So let's alternate a few times. Boy, just really focusing on these small, precise movements and focused breathing. I'm getting really warm. Unlayer if you need to. Okay, one more on each side, just so that you even it out. And then from there, you're going to bring both feet back down to the mat, stretch your legs out long, and then bring your arms overhead. And let's take a full body stretch. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, let it all relax. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, relax, knees in, roll a little bit. Now you can rock and roll yourself up, or you can roll to one side and use hands to help push you up. I'm going to do a little roll of the back, so you don't have to even come all the way up the first time. But when you're ready, come all the way up and switch on over to your hands and knees. So take a moment. If you need some cushioning under those knees, grab it. Oh, hang on. I have a thing for my hair somewhere, and it'll drive me crazy if it's moving around. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna have to get you started, and I don't know what happened to it. Okay, hands and knees. I'm gonna get you started here, and then I'm gonna go grab my hair tie. So lengthen your arms, but don't get to the point that they're locked on those elbows. Just soften them a little bit. The insides of the elbows facing each other. Pull the shoulders from the ears. take a breath or two before you start the movement, okay? Make sure you can feel that all the way into the belly here. Belly expansion, inhale. Contract, exhale. Belly expansion, inhale. Lift the chest a little bit, tailbone, easy cow pose. Exhale, starting to make our way into cat pose. So we're going to continue with those two. There's my hair tie. Right there. All right, so go through those two. You want to make sure you're lengthening through the spine, hoping to feel a little bit more length each time you're inhaling, starting to arch that back even more each time you exhale. All right, a couple more. Two more times. Again, don't ever rush to keep up with me. But if you naturally move a little faster, then that's fine too. Now we're going to come back to that straight, flat back. I want you to work the sides of the body. Now usually we do the shoulders, we twist the sides of the body at the same time, but today I want you to just push your hips to the right, and then back to center, and then the left. I'm not really turning the upper body yet, so I'm going to inhale here. Exhale, I'm going to push my hips to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, push them to the left. And inhale, center one more time. And then back to center. Inhale here. Exhale, just look over your right shoulder. Everything else stays straight. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right shoulder. I'm kind of looking over more to the right side behind my mat and left. All right, now we're going to do both. We're going to take a breath in. Exhale, push your hips right, look over the right shoulder. Now we're getting that big side curve in the body. Inhale, back to straight spine. Exhale, hips move left, look left over that left shoulder. Inhale, back to center, and then just do that a couple times on your own. All right, inhale, back to center. Exhale, child's pose. So drop those hips back. You can always use something under the forehead for a little cushion, a little support. Have blocks ready if you need them. So again, with a big focus today, doing a little bit of balancing work with when the body's going to be horizontal to the mat. So what I want you to think about today is a lot of the things that we're going to work on, a lot of these little cues I'm going to have you check in on are to help us with those poses, right? It's kind of like a long warm up to the end goal here. Not that we don't want to enjoy all the practice, right? But sometimes we have a little something that we're going to work on. So I want you to come back to your hands and knees. And again, we're going to, normally we do opposite arm and leg right away, but today we're going to break it down and be a little more focused about it. So I want you to bring your right leg, bring your knee up off the mat, extend that right leg behind you. Push with everything you've got. Push like you want to push it through the wall behind you. Now, don't lift the hip up. Notice that my toes are still not pointing, but facing the floor. My hips are even, my heels pushing straight back. We just don't want to rotate that hip at all. We don't want to lift the leg high. We want to keep it right at hip level. And back down. Make sure everything's squared off here. Pull that belly in. Left knee up. Extend the leg straight back. If you feel like it's too high, I want you to lower it back down. It shouldn't be too difficult to hold it here. Push the heel back, toes. My foot isn't flexed hard, it's somewhat relaxed, but also not pointing the foot. And back down. Okay, so later, when we have our hands on our blocks and we bring one leg up, I want you to have that same feeling of pushing that heel back. Let's bring that right foot up again. Push the heel straight back. Option to bring the left arm up and extend it forward. Try to tighten the middle, tighten the belly so you're not wobbling. Inhale, exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, hand and knee back to the mat. Left leg up. Push that heel back. Option to bring that right arm and extend it forward. So the arm and leg are about the same height. Establish the breathing, establish balancing. Inhale again. Exhale, hand and knee back down. One more time, just one breath. So inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower hand and knee. Inhale, other side, lift up. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Again, getting ready to move into a little flow here. Starting out by bringing the arms forward, toes under, downward dog when you're ready. Really pressing up and back. Press those heels toward the mat. They might not touch it, that's okay. Allow your head to just be heavy and hang. Inhale to plank. Drop those knees if you want to modify it. Exhale, lower yourself down, elbows in. Now cobra, think of never pulling from the back, but lifting right between the shoulder blades. Lift your heart, inhale. Exhale, child's pose. All right, let's try it again. Toes under, downward dog. Pedal the feet this time, let one leg work a little harder as the other knee bends. Give it time to stretch. Don't just pedal those feet so fast. I want you to really hold that heel down, then the other side. Now, as this heel goes down, I'm putting a lot of weight into the ball of my foot, into all 5 toes. Work on those arches. Do each side one more time. So one heel, we're working the back of the leg. Other leg, we're working the arches and the ball, the foot, all those little muscles in there. And other leg last time. And press the heels down, lengthen that spine, press out of the hands. Inhale again, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. And then come to downward dog when you're ready to move to the front of your mat. So from downward dog, you can take a bunch of little steps. You can step one foot and then the other, coming to a forward bend. Try to move forward enough that the hips are allowed to come more over the heels, and you're not dropping those hips like a foot behind you or letting them be a foot behind you, all right? Use the hands or use the blocks anytime. When you're ready to come upright, you're just going to let the knees bend a little bit more. Tighten up that belly and roll it up. Once you're upright, shoulders up and back. Do that a couple times. Circle the hands each way. A little air in here. Oh, better. Okay. Find your mountain pose. Take a look at the feet if you need to. All right. From the ground up, crown of the head, pulling you up. Shoulders up and back. We're lifting the chest up a little bit. Gaze can be forward or slightly up, but always keep the back of the neck long, all right? Bring your hands to heart center. Focus on your breathing. One more full breath. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. We're just going to bring the chin to the chest. Bring those hands slowly down to the floor or the blocks. Let the head hang. Now inhale, lift halfway. If you want to use the blocks, that's fine. Extend the back. If you want to use the shin bones, that's fine too. Pull though, you want to pull the shoulders apart, right? We don't want to have a rounded back in this position. So tight belly, straight back. Now, bring one hand up and reach it back. And then bring the hand back down. Take the other hand up. So as you bring one hand up, you don't want to feel the body changing or weakening or collapsing. You can bring both hands back as long as you're able to keep that back nice and straight. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale all the way back up to mountain pose. Remember, you've always got those options of rolling down and up, rolling down, coming up with a straight back. Make it work for you, all right? Whatever's gonna feel good today. Here we go. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. I'm gonna dive over this time. Come to that forward bend again, nice and deep. Inhale, lift halfway. Straighten, tighten. Let your heart lift forward. Option to bring those arms straight back. Maybe we angle them away from us. Wherever they go though, we don't let anything else collapse here. Take a breath in. Forward bend, exhale. Inhale back up. Exhale back to mountain pose. All right, we're gonna do that one more time before we start lifting one leg up. Take the arm up, arms up, inhale. Forward bend, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Pausing, extending the arms, holding that balance. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back up to mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, adding in a little bit of strength work now. Arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Now, make sure you've got now external support, right? We can't use our hands on the legs on this one, so we want to rely on our blocks. You know, if you've got really long arms, maybe you're on the floor, but straighten that back. Tighten here as much as you can. Whichever leg you want to take up first, lift it up. Hip level or lower. And take that foot back down. Before you do the other foot, make sure you're nice and straight. Other leg up. The knee can be a little bit bent, but we don't want to have it bent like a lunge. And take that foot back down. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale back up to mountain pose. So that was just a little preview for our bodies for later. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Hands to the mat. Slowly step back to your plank. Line it up. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Now you can inhale to cobra, or if you want to go into upward dog, you're going to bring the chest forward and up and lift those hips up. So you're just on the tops of the feet and the hands, upward facing dog. Now you can go through child's pose if you like, or you can go directly into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Walk the feet back to the front of your mat. Come to your forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. And all the way back up to mountain pose. All right. We're going to be moving now in and out of some warrior poses. Transition if it works, you know, if it's better to transition for you from the top of the mat, stepping into the poses, fine. If you'd rather come from hands and knees, and then another option, right? So, you know, going in and out of downward dog into these poses is a little strenuous. Maybe you do it once or twice, and then you go back to something that's a little easier. Again, listen to your body. So we're going to start in our mountain pose. Really lift that heart, pull those shoulders back and down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Hands to the mat, stepping to our plank again. Inhale here. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, now I want you to take your right foot when you're ready. You're going to bring it all the way through between your hands. So however you can get it, maybe you need to scooch it. Maybe you need to come to hands and knees. I'm going to try to step mine through. So I'm going to kind of lift my body up, step it all the way through. Now that left foot, I'm going to line it up behind my right foot. I'm going to make my way up to warrior two. So take your time, come up slowly, open to the side of your mat. Now once I'm here, if I don't feel like things are quite where I want them, I'm going to take a look at my front foot. My knee needs to be kind of over the ankle or the arch. My back foot, my heel is slightly back further than my toes, my left foot, and my right heel lining up with the arch of my left foot. Turn your shoulders and hips to the side, arms at shoulder height. Now relax the shoulders, bend that right knee a little more, and finish by looking over your right hand. All right, turn the palm up, reverse warrior, right arm coming up, left hand resting on the back leg. Inhale back to warrior two. Side angle pose, leaning in or perhaps grabbing a block for that support, left arm up or angled forward. Back to warrior two. Reverse warrior again. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose one more time. Same variation, or you can take it a little further if you like. And back to warrior two. And hold right here. Now, from here, we're going back down to the mat. So slowly turn the whole body. Slowly bring those hands down to your blocks or your mat. Step back to either all fours or all the way to your downward dog. Three to 5 breaths when you get here. Lengthen everything out again. And then bring the knees down. Come into child's pose. I'm going to flip around to the other side. Take a little rest. So we're in our child's pose, kind of hanging out. You know, one thing about our yoga practice is it's hard to do, but we want to try to not have expectations. Especially the little things that you don't even realize you're saying to yourself, like, oh, my left side's terrible, or I'll never be able to do this balance, or whatever. I really want you to let that go and just think like, okay, how can I help my body to feel better in this pose? We're going to start out by coming to our downward dog. Stretch everything out again. All right, now look forward to where your hands are. I want you to try to bring your left foot through. Place it somewhere between the hands. And then I'm going to bring my right foot and line it up behind my left. Now I'm going to slowly make my way up. I'm going to turn to the right, make my way into warrior two. So I look down, I'm thinking, that's a little too wide. I'm going to scooch it closer together, my front left heel lined up with the arch of my right foot behind me. I'm going to push my heel of my right foot slightly back. You can have your foot parallel if you feel balanced that way. Never have your toes pointing further back, not in a warrior pose. All right, so turn your chest and hips to the side of your mat. If you were between two walls of glass, all right, those walls would be pretty close together. Arms at shoulder height, look over the left hand. Relax your shoulders. All right, reverse warrior, left hand up, right hand on the back leg. Back to warrior two. And side angle pose, leaning into the leg or a block, right arm straight up. And back to warrior two again. Reverse warrior a second time. Back to warrior two. Side angle pose, second time. Regular or extended variation. And back to warrior two. All right, now we're going to turn at the same time, turn the body, bring the hands down to the floor, step back either to hands and knees or go directly into your downward facing dog. And then bring the knees down, take a little resting child's pose. All right, now, I'm going to turn back around to the other side. Hope that doesn't get confusing, but it really, I think, makes it better when you can see each side of the pose or the series that we're doing. Okay, so we're taking a little rest here. Make sure that the arms come in, that they get a little break as well, especially if your shoulders tend to be tight. You know, we're going to be doing downward dog again in just a moment, so you turn your head to one side or the other. Get a drink if you need it. All right, making our way out of that when we're ready, downward dog. And then stepping back to the top of our mat, forward bend, relax. And then roll it back up. Let the knees bend, roll up slowly, head comes up last. Roll the shoulders up and back. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to do that warrior three, our balancing warrior, which is with the leg extended behind us, trying to get the body parallel to the ground. If you want to move to a wall, feel free to do that. I'm going to give you the option today of going from balancing warrior to balancing half moon. Great to have a wall to do that at because you're not going to fall at least one way. And you can really feel how you have to line those shoulders and hips up to get there. If you're not interested in that today, you don't even want to balance, you're going to keep using your hands on the floor or the blocks, but you're still doing a lot of work. Make sure you're always really tight through the middle. And when that leg comes up and it's extended, if you push out of the heel, you push energy into that leg, it's going to help you balance. You're not going to have a big, heavy, dead leg back here. You're using those muscles to hold yourself here. So, if you want to move to the wall, move to the wall. I'm going to get just a little closer. Now, you can't have your foot right next to the wall because there's nowhere for your body to go. So, you've got to have your foot out from the wall a little bit. Then you're still in mountain pose to begin. Have your blocks nearby. Okay. Now, I can't open my arms out, but I'm going to take my arms straight up. Inhale. Exhale into my forward bend. Round over. Now, inhale, lift halfway. I'm going to use both blocks here. I'm going to straighten my back. You're going to take up whichever leg is not by the wall. Or your favorite leg, even if you're not at the wall. Now, option to bring one arm and then the other up and balance. So I'm a little close on this one. I'm going to scooch out a bit and get back into it. And then option to turn and open. So I'm going to bring my left shoulder over my right. I'm going to turn, I'm going to actually lean into the wall a little bit. And then I can come out of it and balance. But it's really nice to have the wall here and see how much you have to really open up. Again, if you're not into that, stay here in your balancing warrior, your warrior 3. All right, maybe you've got the hands down. You're going to still really work to keep that leg elevated. When you're done, you're going to bring the foot down. I want you to round over, grab your opposite elbows, and just hang. We will do the other side in a moment, but we have to come up first. I don't know about you, but I can't have my head down there for too long. So roll it up slowly. If you're using a wall, you're probably going to want to turn the other way as well. When you're ready, again, if you want to stay on that side one for a while, do that. When you're ready to go to your other side, though, start by setting up warrior mountain pose. So now take the arms up, inhale, exhale, forward bend. I'm going to come into my forward bend. Let that back completely relax here. Now inhale, lift halfway. I'm bringing my opposite leg up. So which, again, you choose. Straight body, tight abdominal, maybe taking the arms up, seeing how that feels. Again, you can't be too close to the wall, but then when you want to open it up, you need to be. So play around with the distance that you need. Now, I'm going to open it up. Whew. Open. I'm going to try to get my right shoulder. I'm sorry, I'm balancing on my left, so I'm going to say my right shoulder, but my top arm. Bringing that leg, so now my heel is against the wall. So either balancing, using the block, or remaining in that warrior 3. And then after that, rounding over again. Relaxing. And then roll it back up when you're ready. So, we used to do that sometimes in class when we didn't have a lot of people because you need a lot of room. But now that you're at home, if that's a pose that's interesting to you, that you really want to practice, use the wall. Use the wall for a long time. And then someday you might want to try it out, away from the wall and just kind of see what happens. I like that pose a lot. But it is very challenging, so don't get discouraged. Don't just start out cold some morning though and say, I'm going to go to the wall and do it. Do a couple of, stretches, downward dog, and maybe a little flow before you do that. All right, we're going to move back to the top of our mat. See where we are. Okay, perfect. Now, we're going to start out by finding that perfect mountain pose again. Now, once you're there, just bring your chin all the way to the chest if we can. No little apple here now. And we're just going to roll one shoulder to the other. I want you to breathe. I want you to inhale when you bring your chin up. Exhale as you lower it down. Inhale, lifting it up. Exhale, lower. We're going to do that a couple times. All right. then come back to center. And then eyes forward. One more breath in mountain pose. And arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward bend. Hands to the floor. Slowly come back to plank. All the way back. Inhale, lift the chest forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Bring your arms alongside you. While you're resting, you can turn your head to the side if you like. But when we decide to start working our way into a pose, we're going to work into dragonfly. I want you to make sure that you start with your forehead on the mat always, right? So forehead down, belly pulling in, arms reaching long. Now, contract the belly a little tighter and then lift the heart, lift the forehead. Reach the fingertips back. Press your toes into the floor. You can float them up after that, but we want to press them down and get those legs long. Now, don't look directly in front of the mat. You see how my neck is pinched back here? I want to look about, 8 inches in front of my mat. Inhale, exhale slowly while you're in the pose. When you're going to lower, you're going to inhale up, exhale, lower down. Turn your head the other way. We're going to do it one more time. Now, if you would like to interlace the hands behind the back, you can do that. I still recommend that you start with the arms down. Pull the belly in, inhale, lift up. Again, option to interlace those hands. Pull the shoulders back. Keep the neck long. Stay however long you want, but always inhale up and exhale as you lower back down. All right, then bring the hands back under your shoulders. And you're going to push yourself back up to hands and knees. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, child's pose. Bring the hips back. Now keep the arms forward. I want you to walk both your hands to the left side of the mat. So left hand goes over. Take that right hand beyond the left hand. Bring the hips back. I want you to really feel this in the right side, like coming under the arm, around the shoulder, and down the ribs. Slowly back to the middle and the other side. So right hand extended, left arm going even further behind or beyond the right. And now getting this whole left side of the body. And then bringing the arms alongside the legs, palms up, so you can get your forehead all the way down to the mat. All right, when you're ready to come out of that, we're going to turn around and sit on the mat and extend the legs in front. All right, so you got a little extra. We want to scooch it out of the way. We want to feel our sitting bones on the mat. Sit tall, shoulders up and back. Get the arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Reach as if you're going to go way beyond those feet. Now, if the back is rounding over, I want you to inhale and lengthen your spine again. And exhale, go a little further. Every inhale, we're trying to keep the spine long. Every exhale, we're just moving the whole upper body forward toward the legs. All right, let's come up out of that. We're going to take the legs a little wider apart. If you want to go to a full straddle, by all means you can do that. I'm just going to take my heels to the edge of the mat. Same thing, arms up, inhale, exhale, forward bend. You can still reach between the hands, between the feet with the hand, grab the toes or the feet. I don't want you to let your feet roll in though. Don't let your toes roll in toward each other. If they roll out, that's okay. Or toes up, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ease into that forward bend. See if it feels any different than the last one. All right, as we come out of that, if the legs were apart, we're going to gently bring them together and just shake them a little bit, loosen them up. Roll down onto your back if you're ready for that, or you can turn sideways and gradually make your way there. We're going to all end up in the same place anyway. Now, once we get the head and shoulders down, I do want you to bring both knees into your chest. Roll the back a little bit. Side to side. Let's take both feet up, flex and point the feet a few times. Spread the toes apart. Do any little movements that you can think of here for the feet and ankles and toes, lower legs. All right, keep the right leg up. Let's take that left foot down to the mat. We're gonna line it up with the sitting bone. We're gonna keep the knee bent. I want you to take your hands a little bit, somewhere maybe below the knee if you can. And we're just gonna take a breath in. On the exhale, I'm just giving a little gentle stretch here on that right leg. Seeing how that feels. We do want to keep our right hip on the mat. Now, let's stretch that left leg all the way out. Keep the right leg up. All right, take a breath in and bend the right knee. Exhale, twist, bend the right knee, twist the right knee over to the left. Sorry about that. Right shoulder staying on the mat. I'm gonna look toward my right hand. If that's too much for your neck, you're just gonna keep the eyes up. All right, now come onto the back again. Bring the right foot across that left knee and start to press that right knee away from you. Option to stay here. Option to bring the left foot up. Thread the needle so the hands are going to kind of go around that left leg. And you can even use a strap here. If you can't quite get your hands there, use the strap to pull that leg in. All right, uncross, hug both knees into your chest. And we're going to take the right foot, bring it down to the mat, extend that left foot up. We're stretching the back of the leg. Hands, going either above or below the knee. Left hip staying down and just working into that stretch a little bit. And then extend that right leg all the way out. All right, getting ready to twist to the right, so we're gonna bend the left knee as we inhale. Exhale, bring the left knee across to the right, and then try to keep that left shoulder down. And coming onto the back again, left foot across that right knee, staying here, or maybe bringing that right foot off the mat. All right, let's uncross the legs, hug the knees in. Now, I'm going to recommend that you get a block. I want you to try something before we get into Savasana, but if you don't want to use a block, you can do it without. What I want you to do is to bring the feet into alignment with the sitting bones. We're going to do supported bridge pose. So we're not going to lift up into that high bridge like we do sometimes. We're just going to take a block or two and place them behind, not the lower back, that wouldn't feel good. So we want to kind of go right below the lower back. You know how the back of your pelvis is kind of a wide bone, right? We want to bring that block horizontally behind us. And you might move it around a little bit and kind of find the best spot to put it. Now, again, if you don't want to do this, you could just get into Savasana now, or you can do your regular bridge pose a couple times if you like, rolling up, rolling down, all of that. But if you want to try this, my top is kind of covering it up, but what I like about this is it kind of pushes the hips forward a little bit, and there's some other variations that you can do here that might feel good as well. We can go to butterfly here. Right, so the soles of the feet together, outside edges on the mat, and letting the knees drop a little bit, but it does push the hips up a little bit more, so it might help you to open up that butterfly stretch more. Also, you can take the legs all the way out, about to the corners or edges of the mat, if that makes sense. Same thing, you can just let the feet then drop open, but by having the block back there, it kind of pushes your hips up and opens into those hip flexors a little bit. So I want you to just give it a try if you've got a block. You can be, it's kind of almost like a pre-Savasana, right? So it's just kind of like getting one nice little stretch. It's sort of a, what do I call it? A passive stretch, right? So we're not having to really pull ourselves into it. The block is pushing our hips up and open. You can even transfer into Savasana, keeping the hips elevated for a little while, but then we do want to eventually bring the whole body to the mat for true Savasana. So again, if you want to be here for, a minute, or you want to give yourself, 10 breaths or whatever, I just really like it. I just like to do it before my own Savasana. So give that a try. Again, any of those positions, maybe just keeping the knees bent, that feels good too. But when you're ready for your true Savasana, you're going to slide that block out. And you can always move to the wall if that's a place that you like to be. And just settling in again, getting a little more comfortable here. Maybe if you're feeling a little bit cold, you can always grab your jacket or whatever and cover up. But just returning to just the breath at this point. You know, your body's done a lot for this last hour in this practice. So as you start to focus more on the breathing, take some time to check in, right? You don't have to start at the crown of the head. I generally do. I like going top to bottom. But if you want to start at the feet, see how they're feeling. Are they relaxed? Move up a little bit to the calves. Continue. You just want to try to hit every part of the body. That's not a super concentrated thing that you're thinking about. We don't want our minds to be that busy right now, but just noticing, being aware. Taking the breath in. If there is tension, we're just going to exhale, let it go. All right, you can stay in Savasana if you'd like. You're ready to come out. Start to move slowly. Move the fingers a little bit, move the toes. Maybe turn the head gently from one side to the other. Take your breathing a little bit more back to normal breathing, but you can still use that belly breath. And then make the movements a little bigger. Stretch the hands, the fingers in and out a few times. Move the feet a little bit more. You can roll slowly to one side. We want to use our hands to come up. We don't want to use a lot of energy right now. So when you make your way up, bring your hands to your heart. And finally sit cross-legged, sort of, for a short time. Anyway, namaste, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to come back to the camera. This last part won't be on the video.